All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to National Crime Victims' Rights Week 2022. As you can see, we have a lot of formerly incarcerated individuals on this meeting, as well as substance abuse counselors that we had the privilege of working with for many years as mentors, as students, as participants, as friends, and also Julie. Especially with Julie, she was not a substance abuse counselor or did wore blues in there with us, but she was very supportive. Was a big part of building the National Crime Victims' Rights Week that we know of, that takes place each year at CTF Soledad. And it was at one time on all three facilities. Today, I understand it's on two facilities, but it has also spread to other institutions because people transferred. And a lot of people have transferred to some of the other institutions in California. And whether it's being done at a smaller level in the substance abuse programs, or it's being done, for the whole facility or different programs in the facility, we do know that it has made an impact at many different places. And that's our purpose tonight, is to continue to push forward despite us being, on the other side of the wall. We're fortunate, a lot of us here that served time, we all were sentenced to life at one time. At one time, I'm sure we could have, we probably had a lot of thoughts we may have never come home. But we're home now. Each of us are with different, with our families in different places of California. But it's important for us to come together. Today, or this week, today starts National Crime Victims' Rights Week. It's a 7-day event. Today, we'll be honoring it tonight, and we want to give a special honor to Debbie Aguilar. Debbie Aguilar was also a big part of these events that took place in Soledad. She was she started off coming herself to speak because she lost her son, Stefan. She lost her son to a drive-by gang-related shooting, from what I believe, from what I understand. And, that was her way of her healing. Is coming in there and sharing her story with us in hopes of stopping that kind of violence from happening, from continuing. And, I want to give her this time, man, and let her know. I remember when I first came home in 2019, she contacted me in the first National Crime Victims' Rights Week. It was 2020, actually. She contacted me and she was like, we have to do something. I can't get into prison. We can't go to Sacramento. A lot of people, if you don't know, she used to go to Sacramento, charter a bus and go up there and take a lot of people that were impacted by, different crimes. And, she was really concerned about that. That was, she had a lot of heart and time into that. But I told her, well, let's do something. We'll go on Facebook, we'll go live. And we did. I remember sharing those times me and Dani were able to, help her move in that process. And right after that, she got sick. So, this is for her. This is for Debbie. Tonight it'll be an open platform. I want to hear what everybody's been up to, what they've been doing. How have you been honoring people that have been victimized by crime? How have you given back in your community? Because that's a big part of us coming home, was bringing the knowledge that we were able to acquire going through those experiences and bring it back out here and make a positive impact due to a lot of the negative things that we've done in our lives. So with that being said, I'll introduce myself and then we'll go around, introduce each other, or introduce yourself, and then we'll open the floor up. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. My name is Gilbert Bale. I'm a formerly incarcerated person. I served 21 years on a life sentence. I worked in a substance abuse program for 13 years. I worked on and off with youth while I was incarcerated for 16 years. It's something I'm passionate about. While I was incarcerated, in the program. I graduated the offender mentor certification program and was I passed my exam and became a certified counselor, which was my goal. Since I've been home, I've worked in the mental health field, a behavioral health field at the crisis unit in downtown San Bernardino. If anybody's ever been down there, it is very, very rough area. We work a lot with the unhoused. We work a lot with people that suffer from addiction. We work a lot with people that have no insurance but need evaluations. They need medications. So I've been able to work in that field. I've worked in the medically assisted treatment, giving Suboxone and methadone, helping people that suffer from opioid addiction. And currently now I'm working at Norco State Prison as a substance abuse counselor. And now I have my own classes, and I'm proud of that because a lot of you, I attribute that to a lot of the counselors here that are here tonight. I learned a lot from you. I appreciate you, and I'm carrying my promises I made forward. Thank you. If anybody would like to go next, feel free.
My name is Alex Lynn. I'm a former lifer. I did about 10 years on a 7-to-life term. That was my 7th term. I was a career criminal. I was always going in and out of prison on a continuous basis until I got the life term. And once I got that life term, it kind of woke me up, and I came to a clear understanding and had to start learning about myself. I worked in the substance abuse program alongside Bayo, Frank DeLeo, and everybody, and was an active participant in many night groups, facilitated many night groups, was seriously into recovery, and really started, I believe some of my big change in life was truly understanding the choices and decisions and how they affected others, and how I victimized many people throughout my life. And I didn't have a clear understanding, but through the process and through learning alongside the counselors and substance abuse programs and Bayo and our structure groups, it really started hitting home and impacted me in a serious way. Today, I got out, and my goal was to strengthen my relationship with my family, because I was absent from it for many years, even when I was out on the street. I got in the traffic control career. I'm a supervisor now. I'm working on freeways and everywhere else. I still live in a sober living home, but this home is a little bit separate because a little bit different due to, it's like the owner just died. His name was Chris Rahaga.
No, it won't, because of Bluetooth.
And there's about 15 people here, and I'm still working with the newcomer, and I'm on a daily basis. I continuously still go to outside meetings and be a participant in that. So, I'm still entrenched, and I also have been a part of delivering food to the homeless, because we run a food service here. And, a lot of different companies like Aldi's and Costco and everything donate food, and we deliver that food to outside places so they can feed the homeless. So I'm active in service as well. And so I'll just kind of leave it at that. Hello?
Oh, all right, I'll go. My name is Frank DeLeo. I served 27 years on a 25 to life sentence. Mm-hmm. I worked in the substance abuse program for approximately 10 years, doing classes from criminal thinking, anger management, relapse prevention, denial management, and victim impact. It was through the victim impact class, working with Jaime Fernandez, that I actually got to develop a more personal relationship with Debbie Aguilar, who, if you see in my background, that's her banner that is very well recognized. I've been out for approximately 3 years. For the first 2 years out, I worked for a nonprofit called Urban Alchemy that directly worked with the homeless on Skid Row. I'm a registered alcohol and drug technician, although I'm not working in the field currently. Currently, I'm working at Home Depot about 2 blocks from my house, which is extremely convenient and a great commute. But I just love being a part of this. You guys are my family, man. I love you guys. You guys opening my heart to our circle is one of the greatest things I ever did with my life. It's what I attribute the greatest movement in my change to. And I just love you guys and the platform we have and the way we continue to stay in touch and still hold each other accountable. So thank you.
All right. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing today?
You kids
So
free.
yeah, So yeah, same thing. I work in the substance abuse program for a while. Uh, but what I want to talk about is, Debbie. I think the first conversation that I had with her, um, she started hugging me, and I started getting paranoid, because that she was a staff, right? And but I think she shows that she believed in the person's transformation. Um, and that's when I kind of understood what, like, everything that we're putting into that program for the whole week, um was just like pure energy, and the people who were coming in were being touched by and the people that were participating for it, like, all the inmates were getting impacted by that. um so that's when I really understand, like, um the the whole process of National Crime Victims Rights Week. um Thankfully, I was released. I was granted clemency, but got the news on. And even to today, I still continue participating, not just um for like victims of crime, but I keep participating in a lot of things when it comes to immigration now. Um, and I think, like, the whole thing and everything pushing back into the system to try to expose, like, uh some of those things that are still happening in our communities, especially our low income communities. Like, money goes into prisons, not schools, not kids. So I was honored, and I was asked to go to San Francisco to be given a certificate for for advocating for immigrants and advocating for these low income communities. Um, and that's one of the things that I continue saying, like, and I continue telling people they got out of prison, like, the more you speak up about what's happening inside there, um, like, we don't forget the people that are still in there, that are still suffering. Because even though some of them lost hope, I think we're the hope, because that's something that Debbie did. She brought hope into those communities, and I just continue doing it. I continue participating in different events. Was post my not just my experience, but post what's really happening in there with a lot of people in there, um, and to try to be the hope that those people want to be whole, for one day to be free and they can be reunited with their families. Just as she always stated, she believed in the person's change and transformation. So she believes to come out here and be a productive member of society, to be back into your families, to show love to your families and the people around you. And that's what I continue pushing today. I still work in a substance abuse program right now. I got promoted as a program manager, uh, and I just that's one of the things I continue. I think, like, I always say, man, like, I think I'm not gonna stop till I sit with the governor, and I keep telling him the things that he needs to do to change the culture in the prison system. And that's my hope, and one day I am gonna do that. So thank you for having me in here. Thank you for being part of it.
I'll go ahead, I guess.
Uh,
I'm Julie. Um, so I am a survivor of violent crime, multiple crimes. And I met Debbie Aguilar many, many years ago when I was making a documentary about gangs in Salinas, California. And that's where she was very active with her group, A Time for Grieving, which later became A Time for Grieving and Healing. I'm a writer, journalist, an artist, and my work has revolved around stories of redemption, stories of people like you guys. Like Debbie, I think I want people to know that not all crime victims just want revenge. What we want is to feel safe. And the best way for us to feel safe is for guys like you to do the work. Because when you come out, you are helping change society and you are helping other people. And that's the kind of thing that makes our community safer and makes our neighborhood safer, is when people do that work and they change. And so all of what you guys are doing is so important to me. Debbie, I think one of the most amazing things about her was that she also changed. She did start out very angry. Her son's murder was never solved. No one's been held accountable, but she never gave up hoping that that would happen someday. And again, not because she wanted revenge, but because she just wanted to face the person who had done this. And knowing her, she would probably end up talking to him and giving him a hug at the end of the day. The way I knew that she had changed her attitude from one of just anger and having the anger run her life was the day we were in a courtroom and she was there to support a murder victim's mother. But the boy who killed that person got sentenced to life. And Debbie ran over and hugged the mother of the kid who was going to prison for life. So she wasn't just there supporting the person who died, she was also there supporting this mother. And as we all know, in gang violence, it's a fine line between who does life in prison and who ends up getting killed. But for her to do that was just stunning. And the courtroom was silence. To see her as a victim's rights defender could still find this compassion in her heart. And that's when she expanded her group to take in mothers, not only who lost children to violence, but in terms of these children died, but also lost children to prison. And so that was her mission, was to unite those two groups and bring them together. And it's so tragic that mission got cut short by COVID. But I'm really glad you're here to honor Debbie today, and I join in very wholeheartedly. So thank you guys.
I can go next. Thank you, Julie. Let's see here. So I did 31 years inside, starting at age 16. And this coming Wednesday, 3 days from now, I'll have been out for 5 years. I was a part of the original Crime Victims Awareness Week in Soledad, 2013 with the rock, and helped in the carving and the polishing of the rock. And what we had there was a really special group that did work hard. Gilbert did in starting something. All of us, the counselors and the mentors, everybody, we just worked really hard, and we had a lot of support, and the cause was good, and it was obviously a success, and so many people have carried it on since then. I know how many lives that it impacted, mine included, and very grateful for opportunities like that, and that I'm super encouraged that it continues, and that more and more people are having the opportunity to face the harm that they might have done, or have the courage to do some of the healing that's required as a crime victim, maybe. Since being out, I came out as a certified counselor. Since being out, I was a certified counselor for about 3 years before I was promoted to the admissions manager. Myself and my staff are responsible for all new intakes coming into Options Recovery, which is a nonprofit outpatient program in Berkeley. And I've been involved with a number of different just programs or opportunities since I've been out to kind of give back, a lot of lifer stuff and just helping people, get to where they need to be, as far as their change and accountability and things like that. Most recently, the last 2 months, I've been going back in to so far 4 different prisons and teaching future counselors, future OMCP as an instructor, and kind of coming full circle in a lot of respects. But I know that the response that I've gotten from the guys in the program has just been incredible, seeing one of us come back in and do that for them. So
Was there no more water in there?
and
No, I'll get you.
yeah, buddy. And so yeah, it's a beautiful thing out here, and it's something that I used to tell people when I lived today is with that humility and that gratitude that says that we get to do this and a lot of our victims don't. And I'm just grateful for every day. I'm grateful for all the blessings that happen, and I strive to just kind of to continue to give back and to help others. And because there's somebody in this world that doesn't exist anymore that I'm responsible for, and that's just one person. I hurt many people, and so just living that life of amends and looking for those opportunities and being of service and continuing to live by the tenet of do no harm, whether we're inside or not, I think is just such a big part of, where we need to be as far as trying to make up for or trying to give back to, as a result of the people that we were and the actions that we took and all of that. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. And I'm just honored by the circle of people that are here and the cause, and I know the future successes. So just thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
I'll go next. I can go next. Thank you, Corey. My name is Dani Contreras. I'm in Salinas, California. When I was 17 years old, I got arrested for murder and gang enhancements, and I was just totally lost in my belief systems with everything. Wasn't really never addicted to drugs, just addicted to the streets and gangs and violence and selling drugs, and just totally twisted in a mess. 17 years old. For me, I found my faith in God. I started reading the Bible and started making sense to me. And I started learning how to forgive people that have hurt me. Like all of us, I think a lot of us have been victims at one time, and we turn it into perpetrators. Whether that was acts of survival or we just, we were just not going to be the victim no more. And so that's what it became. I started making changes inside prison with the hope and goal of to get out one day and to steer other people, kids, away from this way of lifestyle, and just do permanent damage to that ignorance, and plant seeds and let them grow. So, I got an A. I was a lot of different prisons. I ended up at Soledad in 2003 when it had just flipped back to a 3-yard. I stayed there all the way to 2009. And I remember watching the news every day. My family lives in Salinas and Paso Robles area. And so I would watch the news every day, KON, see Debbie. Like, man, that sister going through it. Every time somebody murders, she's right there. She's right there helping out the families, doing whatever she can. And I used to think, man, one day when I get out of here, I'm gonna help her out. I don't know how that's gonna happen or what's gonna happen, but God made things work out the way they did. I ended up paroling from Soledad in 2011, June 26, 2011. I got exiled from all Monterey County and all San Luis Obispo County, ended up in Watsonville, Santa Cruz County. And as soon as I got out, when I paroled with an AA degree. I was in SAP for 3 years. I was a head mentor. I felt I was doing everything that I could do to get on my feet, to prepare myself for that. I didn't like talking in front of people. I forced myself by going in SAP, doing AVP, doing whatever self-help group that I would get used to being uncomfortable with being comfortable with being uncomfortable in front of people or in groups, and trying to be vulnerable and sharing things that you normally wouldn't share. I got out. I got paroled to Watsonville since I wasn't allowed to nowhere else. And, I quickly started going to schools in the Watsonville area. They would give me all the freshmen for 2 whole days, 600-700 kids And I would get together everybody that I could, Northern or Southern or Black, Mexican, white, don't matter who they were. And then I started grabbing the mothers like Debbie and Rosa and Joelle and some other mothers that their sons were murdered, and getting them to come speak with me, you know. And I remember, you know, Debbie would come and she would just, she didn't never expect nothing, you know. And whenever I got some money, I would give Debbie some money, you know, and anybody some money. Like whenever I got some money, some people promise you the world when you get out and say they're going to pay you to come speak. And sometimes they don't follow through. And I think Debbie, I remember the first time I gave her some money, I was like, Debbie, you came out here, shoot, you drove, you need some gas money, ain't nobody give you no money. I said, Debbie, whenever I get a nonprofit going, I'm gonna hire you somehow or some way. Unfortunately, we never got to that point, but you know, I used to always tell her that, like, man, you should be getting paid to do this work, you know. But she got paid. She got paid by helping people on scene, you know, being there when in those moments, and you know, just connecting her and other mothers. I don't know if you guys met Joelle too. She had forgave her son's murderer, and matter of fact, she's writing them. But there's been a lot of interactions with that, and so some of those are my ways of amending, like showing people a different pathway, you know, or helping other victims, families, and whatnot walk through that process when I'm able to. You know, right now I work for the county of Santa Cruz, and I manage their medication-assisted treatment program at all their county clinics. You know, I've been out in June, it will be 11 years. You know, for some people, I paved the way from what I was doing. I remember coming back into Soledad 3 years after parole. I think I was one of the first in the state. They let me back in there to SAP, and I was able to go in there and see Gilbert and the other brothers that were in there, and share with them, you know, what's been going on in my life and how I've been paying it forward. And you know, it's a beautiful thing to watch, see all these guys out, you know. Some of you guys I know, some of you I don't know, but it's awesome to see us all in our different communities giving back and helping out. Some of us are in communication a lot more than others, you know, and it's just a beautiful thing. And you know, Debbie was really close. I haven't even deleted her. Maybe that's something bad on me. I have a hard time letting go, but I still got all her text messages. Like the day she was, I didn't even know she had COVID. She was supposed to be at my house. Her and my wife got really close, and she was coming over for me and my family and her to make tamales. And she just called. She's like, I'm not gonna come over. I feel sick, but I don't got COVID. Right. And then I'm doing a fundraiser for one of the brothers that got deported. That's in Guatemala. And she's texting me from the hospital. I don't even know she's in the hospital. She's texting me, I wish I could give money right now, but I can't. And I was like, why? What's going on? She's like, I'm in the hospital. I was like, what do you mean you're in the hospital? And then she just got silent for like a week. And I started like, oh man, I hope she's all right. You know, next thing I know, one of her family members called me, said, you know, she got COVID, she's in there. And then she texted me right here. I just told her I'm still in the hospital. I'm so weak to text. Praying. And I told her, we're praying for you, sister. Keep fighting. All the brothers praying for you. All the Soledad saints are praying for you. And that was the last words, was thanks. And a couple of days later, you know, she passed. You guys can't see it because my screen, I think. But, you know, she was an awesome lady, and she gave back everywhere. I mean, I sat in parks. I even felt bad the last time we did the 2019. She asked me to do it, and I was so busy I couldn't do it. I was like, man, you know what? Let me get Gilbert. Gilbert can jump on there right now. You know, I still feel a little bad about it, but that sister she's with the business. You know, she was out there getting Cluster Park everywhere. I would go with her, me and the other brother, Sam Cunningham, and you know, just trying to give back, man, help people out. She would go anytime I would go speak somewhere, she was coming with me. You know, so that's how I try to honor. Well, that's how I honor Debbie, and that's how I honor others. I've never said my victim's name before. I'm not gonna throw it out there right now, but I've always felt like it's not my place to say that, because it feels like I feel like almost like I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, I've talked to other family members or mothers that their son's been murdered, and you know, there's nothing I can do to bring that person back. You know, whether I did it or not, or I was a part of that situation where that person was no longer here. You know, that's not something I can ever bring back. And I try to plant that seed when I'm talking to these kids, that, you know, there's things that are irreversible, man, and you don't want to go down those roads, man. You don't want to have that heartache, that pain. You don't want to have to deal with that grief. You don't want to. You don't see. That was one of the things of bringing the mothers with me when I go speak. You don't see the other side. Here's a mother. Here's a whole family. Here's the community that has been shattered. You know, there's one thing that's always stuck with me when I was in SAP. there was this guy that used to run the SAP, Dan Lane. He used to tell us, you know, you could take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But the other part of that was you can make them thirsty. And for me, like, I'm trying to make people thirsty for change, thirsty to make a different lifestyle, thirsty to not indulge in that violence, thirsty just to do something different and bring healing to our communities. So that's really where I'm at. And that's all I got to say. Thank you, guys.